Hey guys, it's Karen again from by Karen E. Haley. This is the second part of the Twigcrescent commission that I've been working on, and this is the step with the line art and the coloring. Here you see me kind of finishing up with my mechanical pencil, just the last two characters, and that was a drawing of my sister's Pokemon. From a dream that I had where she had Pokemon. It was a really weird dream. Anyway, basically I'm just working out the details, and here I start to do the line art, and I really love doing line art. It's probably my favorite part of any drawing. I wanted the line art to be pretty bold near the closer characters, and then smaller as the characters went back, because that's kind of, you know, a little perspective cheat, I guess. It makes them look like they're smaller and not as close to the viewer. I get this question a lot, what do I use for inking tools? I use Zig Millennium inking pens for the preliminary inking, like you see here. They're kind of getting harder to find, but you can buy them at Joann Fabrics and most scrapbooking stores. They are very eraser resistant, which is why I use them for preliminary inking, but they only come in two sizes, so I use Copic multiliners for detailed inking. And the Copic multiliners I use are the SPs, which are refillable. You can get Copics that are not refillable, the multiliners I mean, but they do run out pretty quickly when you like to line art, and I love to do line art, so I run out of multiliner ink really fast. And they have replaceable nibs and all that good stuff. The Zigs don't, but they're only a couple dollars each, so for a nice Copic resistant, eraser resistant ink pen, they do pretty well. Let's see. What else is I gonna talk about? Oh, I know that I am using a ruler, and some people consider that to be cheating. I am terrible at straight lines, so using a ruler really is the only way for me to do things that are made with straight lines, like a spear or a sword. Let's see, what else am I talking about? Oh, all of these characters, their faces especially, they're pretty hard to ink, because even though this is a large piece, it's a, let's see, 11 by 14 inch piece. The faces are kind of small, so I had to do a lot of detail work, and there you can see all of my ink pens and some random OCs from my friend and I. Fan fluff. And then that's my GameCube handle. Wow, this is really not on subject. Okay, here we are, back to inking. So for faces, I usually use 0.03, which is the smallest multiliner, and I love that multiliner. I have gone through so many refills for that multiliner in particular that I'd say it's probably one of my most used ones. And then right after that is my 0.5, which is the one I use for bolder outlines, and that's kind of like my favorite part of outlining, is doing the bolder parts, and then doing all the hair detail. So those two markers, or ink pens, excuse me, get a lot of love from me. Oh, and if you're wondering why my ruler has that little bit on the end there, it's called a T ruler, I think, or maybe it's called a T-square. I used them when I was in landscaping class in high school, and I loved them, so I went out and got myself one that was see-through. That way I could, if I ever wanted to do perpendicular lines, I could use it to line up to the edge of the paper and make a straight line straight across, which is extremely helpful, especially if you are a comic artist or graphic novel artist, doing panels with that ruler makes straight lines and perpendicular lines so much easier. And let's see. I'm sorry I'm running out of stuff to talk about. Let's see. Oh, these characters, a lot of them have different weapons and things like that. So it was kind of a fun commission for me because I really like to draw medieval-esque characters, and I don't get to do that all that much anymore because most of my commissions are Pokemon related, which is pretty fun also, but it's nice to be able to do some medieval weaponry and different types of things like that big scythe that girl is holding down there near the bottom of the page. Well, now she's in the middle of the page. That one's probably my favorite weapon that I drew, besides the sword. And I also really like the whip that I got to draw. And I think you'll see that later on. I'll move the video or the image back up into the viewing area. But that girl reminds me of an Indiana Jones-esque character, and he gave her he said that she uses a whip, and that just, I think, fits really perfectly. Let's see. I really liked to work on medieval weaponry, I guess. That's my whole point here. I got to draw boomerangs and chakrams, which I don't know if I'm saying that right. I got to draw throwing knives, a big ol' sword, a bow and arrow, some daggers, a spear, a scythe, crossbows that are attached to an arm, which was pretty hard, but also pretty fun to do at the same time, and a whip. And I think that's all of the weapons that are in here. Now here I am adding the darker inking, or not the darker inking, but the thicker inking. I'm using my 0.5, and then my other thick inking tool that I like to use is my brush multiliner, because you can get a lot of variation. And I want to try out the 0.7, but I haven't gotten one yet. I think that's the thickest multiliner you can buy besides the brush-sized nibs. So, I don't know. Like, if you guys have used that size, let me know, because I would love to know what your opinion is on that marker. I mean, ink pen. I keep saying marker because I'm thinking about my Copic markers, and I'm drawing right now. Multitasking, yeah. Let's see. What else can I talk about? I don't know. Inking's pretty straightforward, so it's pretty hard for me to keep talking and talking about it when there's really only a few steps that I take when I'm inking. Like I said, I do the preliminary inking with a Zig multiliner or Millennium ink pen, and then I go over it with Copic, or then I erase everything, like all the pencil lines. Then I go over everything with Copic multiliners for details and darkening. And then I use the little ones for more hair detail. And now I'm starting on the skin, and you'll see that I used a purple marker earlier to lay down shadows. That marker was BV00. I have since purchased a marker that's a little bit darker than that works a little better for shading skin. That's BV02. And the skin color I'm using is E30 for most of the characters, and E51. And then the lightest skin color is E00. And those are colors I typically use a lot. There are some characters that have more pale skin, and then the two characters that are back to back, the two girls on the right there, they are they will get a more olive skin tone that you'll see later in the video, as well as the young man with the spear on the other side, because they're all related, so they have a similar skin tone. And then there's the girl next to the guy with the spear, and she has very pale skin, so I used mostly E00. But that's about it for this video. I really hope that you enjoyed watching this, and that you will check out the first step if you haven't already. And stay tuned for the next one, because I'm really excited to be doing this, and my favorite part of this kind of commission, I guess, is coming up in the next one, and that's going to be color scheme planning, and that's a really fun part to talk about. So anyway, after I've finished talking your ear off, I guess I'll go. See you in the next part. Leave a like if you liked, if you favorited this or whatever. Leave a subscribe if you want to see the next video. And see you later, I guess. Later, guys. Bye.